Here we are at Camp Victory with the mayor of Camp Victory, Captain Stephen Kaminsky of Boise. Outside, well, what are we outside of?
We're outside of the palaces that were bombed early in the war that held Saddam Hussein and Chemical Ali during their trials.
So you're in charge of this?
Yes, I am in charge of it, and we used to give tours here fairly regularly, but as the building was bombed, it is now sort of unsafe, and we only take small tours through.
So we're okay to go into the unsafe?
Absolutely.
We've got you to protect us. Now, again, you see this. What are we seeing right here outside?
This was a bunker of some sort when Saddam was here for protection and security. If you look up a little bit higher, you can see the roof where the bombs hit and leveled the second and third floors.
So Saddam Hussein was actually here and held for his trial?
For about a year.
We're in the room where Saddam Hussein was interrogated upon his capture and before his execution. Captain Kaminsky, tell us about this room, please.
This room has little windows. You can see some over here, then behind us. And that's where the video devices were and the audio devices were so they could record the interrogations.
When you talk about the significance of this, what goes on in your mind? Just hearing Saddam Hussein, he could have been right here or over there, and we were trying to get information. What goes on in your mind?
I'm pretty much in awe that the man who created all these palaces was then reduced to staying in a small room like this and being interrogated with a small window here, small window there. He didn't have the freedoms that he once had. And it's interesting to me that he was probably sitting right where we're standing right now. This room outside is 270 degrees coverage around the cell. The guards would eat and sleep here, and they would have shifts. And Saddam would reside in the room right behind me.
So here's a man, and we'll just slowly start moving this way. Here's a man who had all these wealth and riches being reduced to living in this cell. This is where Saddam would sleep?
Yes, this is where Saddam would sleep. I imagine he had a mattress of some sort and blankets. And around the edges, he probably had little posters up, a prayer schedule. And behind me is his sink/toilet. And that's pretty much his whole cell.
Well, hold on. So right here, where we're sitting right now, Saddam Hussein slept at night.
Yes, this is where he slept.
Could you imagine what was going on in his head? Being interrogated by the hated Americans, being monitored all the time, and being in, I mean, how big is this room? I mean, the sound is echoing already.
I'd guess it's about 10 by 8, give or take. And he was probably not very happy to be here. And while he did get out of his cell to do recreation once in a while, he did spend most of his time in here.
Well, let's find out what it's like once the door is closed. So we're going to leave Saddam's place, and we'll take a listen to something that you hear in the movies, that you have seen. But again, think about this, my friends. The final noise that Saddam would hear every night. Captain Kaminsky, where are we?
We're in Saddam Hussein's exercise yard. It's about 15 feet by 20 feet, and behind us are his 3 little gardens that he would tend while he was out here on recreation.
Well, let me get out of the way here while we take a look at that. So what we've seen, now how long was Saddam here in this facility?
A little more than a year.
So for a year, the butcher of Baghdad was in his interrogation room, in his cell, and this was about the only form of recreation he had. A guy that built millions or billions of dollars worth of, excesses for himself was reduced to this area here.
Right. It resembles a dog run, and I'm sure he wasn't too happy to be out here, but he did have his gardens, and he did evidently have some cigars, and he would enjoy himself out here between interrogation and being in his cell.
Now, is it me, or do you get a significant feeling of being here right now?
Oh, absolutely. I come in here pretty frequently, and the feeling is never worn off.
I would agree with that. You get a feeling of finality, I would say.
Absolutely. It's pretty stark.